Skybrid, in a slightly more robust version. After experimenting with the carbon edition, now we shall observe how the current iteration performs. Additionally, it is more cost-effective compared to the Duotone Skybrid.
Let's try 100 liters, see how it goes.
Welcome back to the Into the One Channel Estates, and welcome to this new test video review. The guys from Cacao wanted to give me a version a little cheaper than the Skybrid and also a little bigger, suitable for weights, a little bigger than mine. It is a board that is a good all-rounder, and in the light wind allows even those who weigh a little more to be able to take advantage of these. From Midland, that guarantee early departure. Exaggerated the material of this normal Skybrid, let's call it normal. The board is built with a vacuum epoxy bamboo sandwich technology and therefore has the reinforcements where they are needed with bamboo material. A bit as we have also seen on F1. It is then coated with a fiberglass. This guarantees the board to be a little heavier, but to have the same shape as that lighter version SLS carbon, and guarantees to have greater robustness. The pad materials are always the usual 2 brass that we find in all boards are great. The pad is very comfortable with stripes and does not tire the foot. It must be said that although this is a slightly heavier version of the Skybrid Duo, brass has kept the chassis and therefore the carbon rails. As for the measurements and prices, well, there are the real differences. If with the SLS Carbon Skybrid we were able to get to very small liters and not to get to large liters, here we cover a range a little more human. We start in fact from 1.85 liters. Which is 5 and 8 long. Then there is the 100 liters, which is 5 and 10 is the one we tried. We then get to the 6 and 2, which is 130 liters. The middle way is the 6, which is 115 liters. The weights are obviously not contained, but it is not what 2 Brass focused on in marketing this board. So they have little weight because we lighten a little wallet. However, indicatively, I can tell you that more or less the 100 liters weighs around 7 kilos and 500. Obviously, the list price is lower than the carbon version. So ask Paulo Di Caucao to give you the price, because he has immediately available these boards you can see in the store to touch with your hand. And he himself can guarantee that the shape is identical to that of the carbon version. Let's talk about shape. As for the shape, the outline of this board is narrow and long, typical of Midland. The bow and stern are generous both in breadth, but the stern especially in height. We have great volume, it's a little tight, but where it needs to be, we have both width and volume. The table leaves very early. Why? The outcuts on the stern, on the live work of the stern, help this board to immediately pick up speed and discharge water. In addition, this version also has long rails, so it adapts to all types of carbon foils. We have the carbon frame, although the board is not carbon, but is the heavier version. The blanket is concave for more responsiveness, and I really like that. The edges are round, so we are nice and soft on the waves and don't cling to the water. It is a very pleasant board to surf. So we saw how the shape is identical to the Carbon SLS version. It really is a table to evaluate. My feelings in the water, so for me it's 100 liters. Obviously it was very big, I have to be honest. I was very comfortable in it, but once in flight. I didn't realize I had 100 liters. I didn't find all this difference with 85 liters. So if you are a bit borderline weight between 85 liters to 100 liters, but you want to be a little quieter, especially in light wind, when you need volume to stand on the board, opt as well for the 100 liters because the flight and in maneuvering is really agile. It is not at all cumbersome. I used it with the Carve 9 and 50 and with the Float EO 430. And I have to be honest that in 12 knots, 12 knots, I started quietly. You can do even better pushing a little more. I definitely recommend this board to those who also give an eye to the wallet. Needs a second board for light wind. And believe me, it is not necessarily necessary if it is a second board to have the top Carbon version SE used only in certain situations. If instead you need a unique board, then the Carbon version is definitely for you. I thank the guys at Cacao who made it available to me. Did you see her at the Wind Festival? Call Paulino, get a price, ask him for advice because he is a user of the Carbon version. So certainly on the shape he is very prepared. Why do you use it? Locate it in the store. They'll accommodate a trial if requested, so don't hesitate. Upcoming tutorials and videos await in the water. The season is fantastic. Wind is imperative. Stay tuned.